If you're struggling to defeat the Red Prince on Nightmare difficulty, you might find the strategies and build I discuss and showcase in this video helpful. Let's start with the archetypes. We'll be maining the Challenger archetype, and in particular using the Juggernaut skill, which gives us more movement, more melee speed, and 3 stacks of bulwark and a reduced stagger level for 25 seconds. Because of its relatively short cooldown, you want to pop Juggernaut often, and especially when fighting in the Flaming Circle. Feel free to choose anything for your secondary archetype. I went with Gunslinger, but this is your choice. The idea behind this build is to be comfortable fighting in an enclosed space while maintaining composure, even if you were to take some damage. We're using the Insulation Driver Amulet to give us 15% extra damage and haste whenever Bulwark is active, and the following rings. Heart of the Wolf for extra stamina and movement speed. The Guardian's Ring, which gives us 1 stack of Bulwark when within 15 meters of an enemy, and 2 stacks for 10 seconds after taking melee damage. Preferably, you don't want to take any melee damage, but it's not too hard to mistime a dodge and cop a sword to the face, so we might as well gain some more damage resistance. We use Stone of Balance for a flat 7% damage increase, and Hex Ward, which prevents Curse Blight. Since the Red Prince loves cursing us, we won't have to worry about it with this ring. You can also use whatever relic you like. I hardly use the relic abilities, but slot some damage or skill speed up fragments into your relic. Onto the weapons, and I used Plasma Cutter for my long gun with Twisting Wounds, and for the handgun I used Double Barrel. I think Double Barrel Shotgun is the star of the show, as this encounter is full of close quarters combat. My gun was only leveled to +9, and it was making quick work of the minions and outputting a decent amount of damage on the boss. I highly recommend maxing out this gun, and it can probably 2-shot a knight. I used Healing Shot and Refunder to bolster survivability and introduce an opportunity for ammo replenishment. If you are going for the Crown of the Red Prince, which requires the final blow to be dealt by the Assassin's Dagger, then don't use any weapon or mod that applies a status effect, for example Bleed, or a minion-based archetype like Handler or Summoner. You don't want them inadvertently delivering the last hit. Here's how I set up my traits. Usually I like Fitness for extra evade distance, but during the Flame Circle mechanic it's too easy to roll into the flames and burn yourself, so this perk had to go. Instead, run Shade Skin for elemental damage resistance. I used my trait points to max out Vigor, Endurance, Expertise, Bark Skin, Siphoner, Shade Skin, and Recovery. When the fight starts, sneak in some damage with the long gun and wait for the horizontal fire skewers to come out. You can roll through these if you time it right, or what I prefer is to try and be on a different level to the boss. You can also hang out about halfway on the stairs to avoid a lot of his attacks. If you put in enough damage, the first knight that spawns will always be here by the staircase. Make quick work of it and then focus the boss again. You need to always be on top of when the Red Prince summons a knight and take it down quickly, as losing track of them and the boss can be really costly due to their ranged attacks. Eventually the boss might come in for a melee swing or 2, or even 3. If you see him teleport nearby, it's best to not roll away but under his swings. Keep an eye on the position of the sword arm to see if another attack will follow up or if the combo is about to end. Ideally, when you're not surrounded by flames, it's best to chip away from a distance with your long gun. Now here's the fun part, the Flaming Circle of Death. This is the reason I decided to make the guide and likely the reason you are watching it. This attack was driving me nuts and it felt like every time I entered, I would be carved up either by the Red Prince or the walls. Here are the 2 tips that I eventually worked out to be the key. 1. Remove any evade distance rings or traits from your build. It is so easy to clip the outside when rolling with this buff, but the moment you remove these evade distance traits, you won't be burnt to a crisp. The other tip is to listen for the entrance sound and focus on the arm holding the sword to see when the next attack is incoming and roll through it. If the arm ends up in a backhand position, then you know another attack is incoming, so prepare to dodge. There is enough time to land counter attacks in, and eventually the fire will subside, so just go back to chipping away and killing the knight minions. Rinse and repeat, but be careful as after the first fire circle attack, the Red Prince may summon 2 knights instead of 1 for the duration of the fight. I hope this helps and thanks for watching.